Yes, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Garden of the Mind YouTube channel where we reduce stress, improve our health and fitness, and increase our financial IQ just a little bit every episode. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to forgive yourself. So if you want to know how to forgive yourself or been having some trouble doing so, you're in the right place. If you're new to this channel, welcome to our village. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome as well. So let's get into it. Forgiveness is a difficult thing for some people, but it shouldn't be difficult at all. It should be simple. It should be you make a mistake, you forgive yourself, and that's it. But if you're finding difficulty forgiving yourself, there are probably some things that have happened in your past that may contribute to what you are presently experiencing. One of the things that makes forgiveness very difficult is when you have these incredibly high standards. Now, look into yourself and find out where these high standards are coming from. Why do you have these incredibly high standards that you yourself don't seem to be able to meet? Did it come from a parent who was very, very critical of you? Or do you feel like you can't let people down? Whatever the case, there are some things that are making forgiveness very difficult for you because of your high standards. Sometimes it could be us ourselves which create an environment where forgiveness is not common. There was a video of a pastor engaging in a sexual act, and I looked at the comments of the video and people were making all kind of jokes and so on and so forth. Did you hear about this? If you did, what did you do? Did you continue to forward this video on to other people? Or did you say something and let people know that everybody falls, and this could happen to anybody? We shouldn't make fun of people when they're down. And these are exactly the things that make forgiveness very difficult. Because while someone was down, you may have kicked them or may have said some things that makes it very difficult for you to forgive yourself because you're thinking that everybody is looking at you the way you looked at that person when they were down. So one of the things that you can do is to try not to be so critical of people or engage in listening to gossip and rumors and so on and so forth, because all of those things fuel and create an environment where forgiveness is not very common. Now, another way that I hear a lot of people not being able to forgive themselves is for them to beat themselves up over and over and over again about something that has already happened and already taken place, but they punish themselves over and over about it. One of the things that I hear from people who continually beat themselves up over and over again about something that's happened in the past is, I should have known better. Well, maybe you should have, but sometimes there can be a lapse in judgment, there can be a distraction, or you might be dealing with different facts at the time than you are dealing with later on when the criticism comes. So I find that most of the times people make the best decisions that they can with the information that they have at the time. So the decision that you made was probably very time specific to exactly what was going on at that particular point in time. And when those situations are no longer present, now you're around a different group of people with a different dynamic. Now they're reminding you of things that you should have remembered during the time that you did what you can't forgive yourself for. But remember, you did the best that you could at the time. We all make mistakes. That's why they put erasers on pencils. I don't know anybody who doesn't make mistakes. And if I did, I don't know if I'd want to be around them, because they might be reminding me of all of the mistakes that I'm making. That's no fun. Nobody wants to be around that type of person. But accept your mistake, accept your responsibility, and move on. Now, once again, moving on, that can be challenging in itself. A friend of mine by the name of Hasib says, the past will keep you captive. Let it go. Stop focusing on the past and focus on the future. We can't do anything about the past. The only thing that we can do is we can look towards the future and look to improve the future. There was a very famous singer whose husband allegedly cheated on her. And there was rumors and everything else talking about how this person allegedly cheated on her, and she was such an alluring person, so she had to deal with the fact that she's so alluring, yet her husband still cheated on her and did these things, and it was such a public matter. I can only imagine how difficult something like that was for her. But what she did is she made sure that she made the situation work for her. She came out with a whole album about how she felt about the whole situation and ended up becoming an even bigger star and making even more money from this album, because everybody can relate to the pain that she put inside the album. So the point that I'm making to you is, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Whatever you're going through right now is only half of the movie. It gets better. It has to get better. This is only the part of the movie that makes the end of the movie all the more sweet, because throughout the time where you're watching the movie, you think about how bad things are and how are they ever going to improve. But that's for you to determine. You determine how good you want this movie to end. What type of ending do you want this situation to have? Make this the best thing that ever happened to you and move on. One of my favorite scriptures says, "All things work for the good of them that love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose." What that basically means is, no matter what happens to you, it's all for God's glory. And if it's for God's glory, you're going to get some of that. Whatever it is that you're going through is just a trial. It's just a situation for God to get the glory. And if you are a child of God, then you'll get some glory as well. One of the things that you can do to help forgive yourself is to not create such an unforgiving environment that you yourself can't go to your support group because you've already said some things that were not very forgiving when other people went through similar situations. I love the wisdom of working with young kids. With young kids, we teach them, if you make an oops, you say you're sorry. Everybody makes mistakes. But what determines the caliber of person is what you do when you make that mistake. Do you take responsibility for the fact that you've made a mistake and then move on and apologize? Or do you act like you didn't make the mistake or blame it on someone else or other things that make forgiveness very difficult? As adults, these unforgivable mistakes end up becoming secrets. And secrets we end up trading our future days to cover up a past situation that should have been long forgiven. The longer the situation goes on, the bigger the secret gets, the harder it is to tell, and the bigger the consequences of the secret is or are. These secrets end up manifesting themselves into actual physical sicknesses or mental sicknesses. The bottom line is they get bigger and bigger for situations that could have been deflated long time ago if people take responsibility for what it is that they've done, apologize for them, and move on. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you want to know when I post, which is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but the exact time so you're the first one to know exactly what's been said here, please click on that notification bell. And remember, thoughts are actions, words have power, and actions have consequences. Tune in for Wealthy Wednesdays, where we'll explore the world of credit cards. See you then.